So here is the assignment page for science. As you can see, there are a lot of instructions, and we'll look at them closer later. There are also a lot of links, and we'll talk about each of them too. First, we have the instruction video. You'll probably want to watch this video a lot of times. That's why I'll be talking so fast. This link is for the pollination video, which you probably already watched with your teacher. You will be watching this again and taking some notes. Like you did with Washington, D.C., except you won't be copying it, you'll be figuring it out yourself. Then there's the flip grid. You're going to go onto the flip grid and read the notes that you wrote, just like you did with this Washington, D.C. Up here you'll find a Jamboard file. You might remember doing a Jamboard for plants before. Some of you did a really good job. When you click on the Jamboard file, it'll open like this. You'll see some labels. And what you're going to do is draw a picture to fit pollination, pollen, pollinator, pistil, and pollination. One of them is stamen. So in order to draw the picture, I'm going to select the pen tool, maybe a marker, and a color, maybe red, and I'll draw my flowers real quick. I'm going to use my mouse pad just like you have to. I know it's very difficult. I'm usually a little bit better at drawing. So now I'm going to do the stamen, which is yellow. And the stamen is the one that makes the pollen. And I'll draw some pollen. Then maybe I'll do the pistil. I'll do it in blue because it's supposed to be purple and they don't offer purple. Then I'll draw maybe a stem to make it look like a flower, and a leaf on each one so we know what they are. Then I'll draw some pollen floating in the air. So now I have the pistil and the stamen, and I have some pollen. Now I need a pollinator. So I'll draw a bee. Looks like a bird, but I'll try to make it look like a bee, maybe with some yellow stripes. Well, and put some pollen on the bee, like that. So now I have a pollinator. I'm going to hit my select tool so that I am not drawing anymore, and I'm going to start moving my labels. First I'll put the stamen over by the male flower, and pollen over by the floating pollen, and pollinator over the bee, pistil by the female flower. And how am I going to show pollination? I know, I'll draw an arrow. I'll use a pen and make it black, and I'll draw an arrow going from this flower to this flower, and that's going to show pollination. So I'm going to hit my select tool again so I can move my label, and there, I'm done. So when you're done, don't turn in your Jamboard yet, because you're going to need it when you do your Screencastify, which is right here. So before you start your Screencastify, you're going to want to open your Jamboard to get it ready. So it's up in the tabs. Then when you click on Screencastify, you might have to sign in with Google, but when you get here, you hit record. hit the big picture because you want your full screen, and then as it's counting down, you can click on your Jamboard. And now here you'll talk about what's going on. You can say this is the stamen, this is pollen, this is my pistil. This pollination is when the bee goes from one flower to another, and this is pollen on the bee. And then when you're done, you can go back to that page and hit, you can either watch it or you can hit submit. When you hit submit, you then have the option to view other submissions. And right now, I am the only submission. So you can watch what I just recorded, and then you can go, you're done. So that was the Screencastify. Let's go back to and look at the instructions closer. It says, watch the instructions. You may need to do that a few times. Then you're going to watch the video and take notes, because after you take those notes, you're going to make a flip grid reading your notes. Then you're going to draw a picture in Jamboard. Then you're going to make a screencast talking about and showing your pollination picture. Why not give it a try? Just do it and see what happens. Good luck!